Hey, it's Teresa with My Lice Advice, and today I'm going to be talking about why lice comes back. If you're in this situation where you thought you got rid of it and then it comes back, we're going to talk about why and, way more importantly, what you can do to make sure that it doesn't come back again. So let's get to it. So before getting started, just so you know who I am, my name's Teresa with myliceadvice.com, and I'm a registered nurse, and I actually specialize just in head lice. I've been doing this a very long time. I opened my own lice center several years ago where I help children with lice, and now I work with government agencies and school districts to help children with the worst cases of lice. And I own myliceadvice.com, where I teach parents how to do a professional lice treatment on their child at home so that they can get rid of lice in one treatment. So enough about me, let's talk about you and the situation you're in. So you used an over-the-counter lice treatment or a home remedy or whatever, and you thought you got rid of lice, but then it came back. So you are not alone in this situation. In the studies, 75% of people that use traditional lice treatments end up still having lice, even after multiple treatments and retreatments. So this is a situation that a lot of people are in, and that's because this newer strain of lice, also called super lice, is extremely common. And we're going to be talking about that later on in this video. So let's get to the 7 reasons why lice comes back. And I'm going to be talking about these in reverse order, so the least likely to the most likely. Number 7. House cleaning. So house cleaning is the least likely reason why you got lice back, but the most common mistake I see with house cleaning is that people want to wash everything in the house, and lice do not die in the washing machine. Lice can hold their breath more than 24 hours in water. In fact, they actually can live longer if they're submerged in water for a long period of time because they go into this kind of hibernation mode. So be sure that whenever you're cleaning bedding and things like that, that you put everything in the dryer. The best studies show that 40 minutes on high heat in the dryer kills lice. So be sure that everything goes in the dryer. If you're concerned that you may have gotten lice back from your house cleaning, that's actually not very likely, but on myliceadvice.com, right there on the first homepage, you can find the house cleaning checklist. So just click on that article, go there, and have a full checklist of exactly what to clean in each room. It's divided by room, so it's really easy to go through to make sure you didn't miss anything. Number 6, school. So this is also not as likely, but if you're concerned about your child going to a really lice-infested school, then the very best thing that you can do to prevent that is to keep their head away from other people's heads, or their hair away from other people's hair. So lice don't fly, they don't jump, but they move really quickly in hair. So if your child's hair is touching somebody else's hair, then that's when lice spreads. So the best thing you can do is to put your child's hair up, either in a bun or a braid or a high ponytail, so the chances of their hair touching someone else's is a lot smaller. And again, I have a full article, 21 ways to prevent lice. You can find that right there on the homepage of the myliceadvice.com website. Number 5, a close friend. Lice don't fly, jump, etc. They just pass really fast in hair. So the most likely people for your child to be around are their really close friends. Those are the people that they're head to head with. And you'd be surprised how often children are actually head to head. So the way to make this not such an issue for you is to talk to your child's closest friends. And you can do this just in a text. What I suggest in this case is to send a text that just says something like, hey, Susie has lice. You should probably check, Sally, just to make sure that she doesn't have it as well. Number 4 is timing. So a lot of these lice kits say to retreat every 7 days, but that doesn't work. And you can think of it this way. When someone is pregnant, a mom is pregnant, and she has a due date, the likelihood of that baby hatching or that baby being born is at a certain time. But there are a lot of babies that are born premature, early, and there's a lot of babies that are born late. So the same is true of lice eggs. The time for lice eggs to hatch actually varies a lot. So in the studies, you'd find some lice eggs that would hatch at like the 4-day mark, and you'd find some lice eggs that would hatch at like the 15-day mark. And so just retreating at the 7-day mark is not going to fix your problem. That's why I don't recommend that kind of treatment plan. In Get Rid of Lice Like a Pro, that's why I teach people how to do a professional lice treatment, because I believe that the best way to get rid of lice is in one treatment, where you kill all the lice bugs and kill and remove all the lice eggs at the same time, instead of trying to go round and round with retreatments to try and catch exactly when these lice eggs hatch. Now we're getting into the really likely things here. And number 3 is that it keeps passing back and forth between family members. Now this is really common, and that's because lice is very contagious in a family. And that's because, well, you're head to head a lot more. I mean, how many times has your child crawled into bed with you this week? So lice passes to siblings 80% of the time, and it passes on to parents 50% of the time. And that really sucks, because a lot of parents end up getting lice. But what happens a lot of times is that you have one child that has really severe lice, and then you have other members of the family that are just in the beginning stages of lice, where they just have one lice bug, maybe a couple of lice eggs. And so you think they're in the clear, and you really put all of your energy and focus into the one person that has really bad lice. But what happens is in a couple of weeks, those people that just had one lice bug, maybe a couple of eggs, they have full lice infestations later. So this may have happened to you in your family, where you just had one person and then it spread to everybody else in the family over the coming weeks. And that's because everybody else actually had it. And so you just keep spreading it back and forth and back and forth. So in Get Rid of Lice Like a Pro, I teach parents how to check themselves, how to check everybody else in the family with 100% certainty to make sure that nobody else in the family has it. Number 2, lice eggs. So probably one of the most detrimental lies on the internet and even among health professionals is that you can leave lice eggs in the hair and they won't hatch. It's just totally not true. And what happens is people leave lice eggs in the hair, sometimes intentionally, but a lot of the time unintentionally, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then those eggs hatch. And so at first you think that you've gotten rid of lice because you're not seeing a bunch of bugs and maybe you're not seeing a lot of eggs, but those little babies, when they hatch, they're tiny. And when they first hatch, you can't see them. But give it a couple weeks, they turn into adults, then you see them, and they're laying a bunch of eggs of their own. So don't believe the lie that you can leave lice eggs or nits in the hair. Now, as far as what you can do here, the first thing for you to know is that a lot of people don't really know what lice eggs look like. They think that lice eggs or nits are white. And it's true that lice eggs can look white in dark hair, but those are the ones that have already hatched. So when you're finding a lot of these white lice eggs in the hair, especially if they're like further down the hair strand, those are lice eggs that have already hatched. They no longer have a bug inside them. If you've had some experience with lice, then you'll know that lice eggs a lot of times are dark. And people believe that those dark lice eggs are dead, which is not true. Those dark lice eggs means that there's still a bug inside of them. What you're seeing is a bug. So if you're finding a bunch of dark lice eggs in your child's hair, they look kind of like coffee grounds, then you are actually seeing lice eggs that are full of a bug. And those bugs will come out and hatch. After the bugs come out, that's when you see this kind of clear look, this translucent look. So what a lot of people do is they focus a ton of energy, nitpicking and everything else, trying to get all these white lice eggs out, which are the hatched ones. And they don't pay attention to these darker lice eggs. Either they think they're dirt or they think they're dead or something like that, which is horrible because those are the ones that are definitely going to hatch. And the number one reason why people get lice back is because they're relying on traditional lice treatments. Lice have become immune to treatments that worked in the past. In the 1980s, even the 1990s, you could buy an over-the-counter lice treatment and it would probably take care of your lice problem. That is not the case anymore. The studies show that somewhere between 98 and 99% of lice are resistant to over-the-counter lice treatments. So what happens when people use a traditional lice treatment is they'll kill some of the weakest lice, some of the ones that are the least immune, so least resistant, but the strongest lice live on. But what people think is they see a couple of dead lice bugs and they comb out a couple of eggs, the child's head stops itching for a couple of days, they think they've gotten rid of lice. But what really happens is that those stronger lice survive and they breed together. And then they create an even stronger kind of lice. And so if you've heard the term super lice, that's what they're talking about. It's not like super lice is something that just some people have. That is the new type of lice that exists today. It's lice that are immune to over-the-counter treatments. So when these pesticide treatments don't work, a lot of people turn to home remedies. And even the very best home remedies only are going to kill a percentage of lice. They're going to leave the strongest lice to survive, breed together, and just create stronger lice. So I cannot in good conscience recommend an over-the-counter lice treatment or a home remedy because I know that neither of those things actually kill all of the lice bugs and they don't take care of lice eggs. So what I offer on my lice advice in Get Rid of Lice Like a Pro is a video course that teaches you exactly how to kill 100% of lice bugs and lice eggs and remove them all from the head in one session. You're not going to be doing a bunch of retreatments. You're not going to buy a lice kit. You're not going to be doing home remedies. Instead, you're doing a professional lice treatment on your child at home. You absolutely will get rid of lice. And there is a 100% money back guarantee. So of course, that's what I would recommend to you. So that's it for today. Be sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have a comment, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to check out any of those articles, house cleaning, prevention, etc., go to myliceadvice.com. And if you want to learn more about how to do a professional lice treatment at home, you can also find that on myliceadvice.com. If you want to stay on YouTube, there's 2 videos here for you. The top one talks more about Get Rid of Lice Like a Pro, what it is, what it means to do a professional lice treatment at home. The bottom one is more about super lice. Either way, I'll see you there.